Let's get a good close-up of the Dome of the Rock before the sun leaves it out. Leaves it out of view. Also a good view of the Holy Sepulchre, but that's not such a problem because we have a better angle on it. And actually we're in the wrong spot to see it because the roof of the St. Saviour Church blocks the view of it. So now it's coming more into view. And that's the last thing St. Francis would want. He wouldn't want to block the tomb. On the contrary, he would bring it out into magnificence. It's so good this morning. And we can see across to the mountains of Moab. There we have the Lutheran church on the left, the spire, and the Franciscan one, and then the mosque in the middle, the Mosque of Omar. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. And then so colorfully decorated. And then across there in the distance, that hill in the desert for Azazel. And then we have at the level of the cross of the Lutheran Tower, we have the mountains of Moab. And they're right, the Dead Sea is this side of that plateau. And that would have been more or less the location of the end of Moses' life, according to the book of Deuteronomy. And all of the speeches that Moses gave, the concluding part of his life. And we have 2 more readings of Job today and tomorrow. And it's really worthwhile reading the whole text. It's amazing literature, especially these last words of Job are extraordinary. I think for a number of reasons today, I would think the focus could be on awe. The word in America is used a lot, awesome. But the word awe, astonishment, amazement, wonder, reverence, admiration, respect, even veneration. We could go further and say bewilderment, astounding, wonder, awe. It's amazing how Job is coming to the awareness of the immensity and unfathomable nature, reality of nature. We are just filled with astonishment that light of the sun took 8 minutes to get here over 93 million miles. And we even know the speed of sound now. How long it took the sound from that car to get up to here and then to travel on the internet to you. And so people who argue with God need to have a small reality check or a big reality check. And these are the words. Let's read the words of Job because they're the closing words after all his ponderings. It's interesting maybe even to read the words before that God speaks to Job, because it's interesting from a number of aspects. Just the view of the world, the cosmology of that time. And there was one that particularly struck me. Which is the way to the dwelling place of light? And what road do you take to get there? And where is the abode of darkness? And one of the most fascinating things in a long trip, like a transatlantic trip, is if you coincide with the sunset and you're traveling pretty fast. What's the speed of an airplane? 400 miles an hour or something or more. Then you're in a certain sense you're almost keeping pace, depending on what point of the planet you're at in your race with the sunset. Or you see a map of, like a little movie map of the darkness as the earth rotates and it no longer is exposed to the light of the sun. It falls into darkness. But here the expression is, have you been to the abode of darkness? Where is it? Maybe we should also mention the opening lines this morning, because they're very much part of our brand Sunrise Stroll and Chat. The Lord addressed Job out of the storm and said, have you ever in your lifetime commanded the morning and shown the dawn its place? Where should the sun rise? We know by experience watching it, but it's not our command that it rises there. This experience of reality, the reality of nature, but also the reality of humanity. One of the things that was striking me today is the patience God had with Job. We always talk about the patience Job had. And by inference, the patience God has with each of us. Job, at the end of the text today, says, I can't answer you. I put my hand over my mouth. Though I have spoken once, I will not do so again. Though twice, I will do so no more. It's the silence that enters the soul in front of the bewilderment, the wonder, the awe of nature. We are brought into a position of astonishment. We are astounded. What a wonderful aspect of the life of our soul to live in wonder, to be capable of wonder. And we can wonder at so many things. You might even wonder at a human manufactured good, like how a hand fits so well into a well-made glove. How a tool is assembled and fits together so well. But this is just a fraction of the compatibility of all the assembled parts of nature, the ecosystems, the structure of a tree, of a plant, from the roots to the leaves. This is actually a terebinth, I understand. This tree here at the French hospital, St. Joseph's Hospital, right here at the back of Notre Dame, on the west side of Notre Dame. And that's an interesting topic in itself. We've never talked about it. Maybe we need to get somebody to tell us a little bit more. And it's actually recorded by travelers quite some time ago, that terebinth. But how a tree works, that famous poem of Joyce Kilmer, who died in the First World War so tragically, like so many people did, young people like in every war, from New Jersey. And the closing line. My dad just loved this poem a lot, and it's stuck in our hearts. But only God can make a tree. And I remember when we were studying philosophy in Rome, there was a professor who pointed out to us that, you know, awe and astonishment is a very important part of entering into philosophy. Because the day we think we can put it all under a magnifying glass and decipher everything and decide everything and box it away and tie it up with a string and have it all down pat, it's not the complete human being. The complete human being, our soul has an extraordinary portion of awe and astonishment, and I imagine that will be one of the most beautiful, rewarding and things to look forward to in heaven. When we look back, even in our own lives right now, as we look back and see the way the Lord knitted many things together and how we're being blessed to grow. Another reflection about Job that's been there in these days is if the sacred scriptures are so comfortable to have Job at home among all the books, and it's not only the book of Job, but particularly the book of Job, but also obviously all the stories of Cain and Abel and all the tragic stories of humanity, is the patience of God with humankind. And if the scriptures are at ease having Job among them, how at ease should be our heart and soul when there is somebody going through major doubt in our family, in our community, in the body of the church, in society. The patience we're called to exercise, the understanding with people on the path on which they're traveling. Maybe sometimes we get into terrible knots because of major mistakes, but that is unchangeable because it happened. And so now we're here in this position, in this moment, in this place, in this family, in this relationship, where a particular member of our group, of our family, of our community, is going through major doubt, is being assailed by others in a very profound way. To be able to keep our calm, we should be filled with wonder and awe over the mystery of creation, the mystery of God, but we should have great serenity, at least as an aspiration and as a prayer and as a contribution to those, in front of those, toward those, in relationship to those who are really deeply troubled, unsettled, in doubt, seemingly in deep contradiction, very harassed and harangued. To make space for the other who doesn't line up uniformed and photo perfect according to our standard status quo model for the moment. To make space for the other who's different, who has ideological variances with us, maybe really counter and contradictory and really opposite to us, opposing us. How to be able to have a heart of serenity like God has with Job. It can be a model for us, an encouragement to give people time, to give them a little bit of leash, to give them space, to be able to dialogue with them and not harangue them like Job's friends, to be able to let them pour out their heart, their troubles, to let them weep, even to let them shout. It takes a big heart to do that. There's also concern for other weaker, smaller ones around that we need to protect in that situation, because maybe they can't understand. Maybe other people don't have the breadth of comprehension and are troubled. So we need also to take care of them, that they're not unsettled and that they learn how to make space for others. First of all, we need to do it in our own hearts, and to teach children to have respect for neighbors that are different. Even appreciation of their person, no matter what defect they would have in our understanding of life and purpose and meaning and order. Also, a little humor helps a lot along that path. And if we want to continue in this path of awe, the psalm we have today is marvelous. 139. There are some snippets of it put together for us. Guide me, Lord, along the everlasting way. Truly you have formed my inmost being. You knit me in my mother's womb. I give you thanks that I am fearfully, wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, full of wonder. If I take the wings of the dawn, if I settle at the farthest limits of the sea, even there your hand shall guide me, and your right hand hold me fast. O Lord, you have probed me and you know me. How good it is to be known by God, because he also loves us. I am known by God and I am loved by God, because he made me. He gave me all I have. He loves me more than a parent, loves me more than grandparents, loves me more than a spouse, loves me more than the dear sibling. People, God bless you. See you later, alligators. Enjoy the fact that we're in this marvelous world despite all the challenges. And let's make space for everybody wherever they are along their path today. God bless you.